Hi, welcome to Freezer Meals 101. I'm Christy.
And I'm Charla. Today we are sharing with you some awesome, delicious one-pot freezer meals.
Yes! We love one pots because less dishes. It's true. You put everything in the bag, and then you put the bag on the stove, and then you add the pasta to the pot, and it's only one dish.
It is
It's so simple.
so simple.
Yeah. And they're delicious.
These are really good.
They are really good.
Have been doing one-pot meals only for about a year.
And we're getting better at them.
Yes.
Because they're not always super intuitive.
Yeah,
You
getting
would think
the pasta amounts
the ratios,
correct.
right?
Yes, the ratios, that's the
Yeah,
word.
we need the sauce to pasta ratio, and it's not always obvious, and so we're figuring it out.
And these are recipes that we've tweaked and played around with.
Mm-hmm.
And so, although one of them is brand new, and so that's one we can't totally vouch for.
We may have to tweak and figure it out, but it's
The
still going to taste good.
flavors are going to be amazing.
When you hear what it's spinach and artichoke one pot pasta.
Yum.
It is exciting and, well, if you like those things. I like those things. It's going to be exciting. It reminds me of that bruschetta we had that time we went to Sorrentino's years ago. And they had 4 different kinds of bruschetta as an appetizer. And I think this was one of the first times we actually went out with you.
Yes.
Because we had just met, and the 4 of us, we went out with our husbands. And I didn't realize Charla was a foodie. Like, I knew she liked food, but I didn't realize she was like foodie. And so she tried to you did. You recreated all of them at home.
Yes, there was like a mushroom one.
Mm-hmm. And then just a regular tomato.
The regular one, and this spinach artichoke one, and then there was one other one I can't remember.
I can't remember
what it was.
But I remember standing in your kitchen, and it was a joke for a long time because she's like, okay, try this. And I'm like, it's not the same. You need more salt and you need more garlic. And then try this. Nope, more salt, more garlic. Try this. More salt, more garlic. And so just about anything we made after that, I would say, more salt, more garlic.
And I did.
You nailed it. It
Yeah.
was so good. You haven't made it for years.
No, we should
resurrect that one.
We need to make that again.
It was
we need
good.
to have a games night so that we have an excuse to make appetizers.
Do we need an excuse?
Oh, appetizers are the best anytime.
It's true.
So this one pot pasta is reminiscent of that, but we're not going to ask you to put it on bruschetta or anything.
And you know what? Our feet are sore. They are recovering because
we've just finished
our mega session.
Yeah. And so
do you know what that means?
It's
Do you know what
of
that
meals.
means? It is a lot of meals. There's a video, don't worry, so we're not going to spoil anything. We're just tired.
We're tired, but
So we need one pot because it's less dishes. Because let me tell you, there was some dishes happening. No, bless Charlotte's mom's heart, because she comes and she does dishes.
She comes and
for
helps us for mega sessions and does our dishes, which is has saved us so much time, because we've gotten those sessions down to where it's 2 days of assembly, and we're
that
really
includes filming,
fast
which
at
slows
it.
us down.
But that's the thing.
It slows us down.
The filming has slowed us down. We want to be able to share it with you, but it really, honestly, having to make sure that we film every recipe and getting a few angles for you guys to keep it interesting, it has slowed the process down. And so if we were also doing our dishes, which sometimes, my mom can't come every time.
The whole time.
But
it does slow us down.
It slows us down. So
no,
that kind of makes up for the filming.
Yeah.
Because now we've got help. So thank goodness for my mom, and we've gone way off topic. But if you haven't noticed, we don't love dishes. One pot equals less dishes. So we're gonna give you the first one pot recipe, which is a pasta puttanesca.
Oh, that's spicy. And I don't mean in the flavor way, because pasta is pasta, but
Right.
So puttanesca is an Italian euphemism for prostitute. And
I was gonna say ladies of the night.
that's another
a little more
euphemism.
gentle there.
That is another euphemism. And this would be something that would be like maybe on the stove, bubbling away in a brothel. And
to entice, the smell is supposed to entice the men in.
Sure. And it would be a lot of different flavors, but it would be, you know, Italian based. It would be something that you could, like a stew where you could make it a bunch of different ways. I'm sure there's lots of different kinds of puttanesca. And in fact, there is. We've made chicken puttanesca. This one's a vegetarian one. And it's just kind of fun to say.
So into our large freezer bag, we are going to put some olive oil, anchovy paste. That's one of the things that you get that aroma from. Garlic, of course, because we love garlic. And then we're going to put some San Marzano.
I take it back. It's not vegetarian if there's anchovy paste in it.
That's true. It's not exactly vegetarian. It's vegetarian adjacent. We're going to put some San Marzano tomatoes that are broken up with your fingers, or you can
use your mix and chop. They do a nice job
in
of
there.
it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And some pitted Kalamata olives that are halved, or in a pinch, I've thrown mine in whole, but they are supposed to be halved. Capers, because then you get that nice saltiness. Yum. Red pepper flakes, chicken broth, salt, and pepper. You're going to take out the excess air from your bag, because whenever you're doing freezer cooking, that is the most important tip, because air is what causes your freezer burn. So we're always super careful to get all that we can out. And then on the day of cooking, you're going to thaw this. You're going to put it in a really large stovetop skillet or pot. And then you're going to add your dry spaghetti noodles right in there and simmer it for 10 minutes. You're going to stir it here and there, and then you're going to top it with some fresh basil and Parmesan cheese, and this is so flavorful. It's so good.
And if you're turning your nose up at the anchovy paste, I want you to know it is in like Caesar salad dressing. It's just another layer of flavor that it isn't fishy. I mean, if you just had it on a spoon and had it, of course, it's going to be fishy. But it just is, like the capers. It gives it a little bit of saltiness. It's just another layer of flavor. It kicks it up a notch. This is dynamite.
And really, it's the anchovy paste that kind of gives this its unique flavor. Like, this is not your traditional spaghetti sauce.
That's right.
So if you've tried some of our recipes before and they've gotten you to branch out a bit, maybe you're willing to give this one a try.
And this one isn't spicy at all. I mean, there's a little bit of red pepper flakes in there, but if you don't like that, just omit them or maybe put less in there. But this isn't a spicy one.
No.
Just great flavors. And those tomatoes.
Oh, they're so good.
How do we say
San Marzano.
San Marzano tomatoes, because then they're already flavored, right? And they're whole tomatoes. You can buy them at Costco. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that until the last
time we did a mega session, because she went to a fancy Italian place to go buy them, and then I saw them at Costco, and I'm like, I wouldn't have to do that.
Next time.
This next recipe is called One Pot Sausage Pasta, and it is exactly what I just said. It is all in one pot, sausage in it, and this is like the Ukrainian sausage or garlic sausage, or we say kubasa in some places, like in the States. In case you didn't know, we're in Canada, we're Albertans, and we say kubasa, they'll say kielbasa, apparently. I've heard that on TV before, but that's just not how we say it here. We're going to start out with our freezer bag. We're going to add our chopped sausage in there. We're going to add in some peppers, some red onion, some diced tomatoes. We are going to have salt and pepper, and again with the red pepper flakes, and it's just a 1/4 teaspoon. It's barely even a pinch. We're going to add in some chicken stock, or you could do water if you wanted to. And in a separate bag, we're going to have cavatappi pasta, or whatever kind of pasta you want. We want about 2 cups of it. And then in another bag, we're going to have shredded mozzarella cheese. So when we get this all mixed together, get it in our bag, get it frozen, on the day of, we're gonna staple that together, right? We're gonna staple together our mozzarella cheese and the pasta if you have it in a bag. We're gonna staple that to the main meal so that it's all together and ready to go for you on the day of cooking. So on the day of cooking, you are going to let this thaw, put it on your stovetop, get it nice and bubbling, and then you can add in your pasta. And it takes a little bit longer than just regular pasta if you're boiling it in the water. Once you add it in, you do kind of want to stir it a few times so it doesn't stick to the bottom, but it might take closer to like 20 minutes before your pasta is soft enough. So once your pasta is cooked through, we're going to take that mozzarella cheese and dump it in there and just stir it right in and let that cheese get melty, and that is going to make it so creamy and delicious.
And that thickens the sauce a bit too. It's really
good. It does. So we're going to get it into our bowls, and we're going to like be fancy and add a little bit of parsley to it if you want, and enjoy.
This next recipe is a recipe that we have been making for more than 10 years. Forever and ever. Mm-hmm. And one of the times recently, we were like, wait a minute, this could be a one pot.
This totally could be a one pot. We've been overthinking this.
Yes, and so the last couple of times that I made it, because I had bags of this in my freezer to make as just a regular slow cooker freezer meal, I realized, okay, I'm gonna experiment. And so the first time I added 2 cups of water and then later stirred the pasta right in, and it was a little too watery. And so the next time, because when we do our big mega sessions, we always make 4 of each recipe, 2 for me
and 2 for me.
Christy. And so I had the 2. I have fine-tuned this because 1 cup of water was exactly the right amount.
Oh, nice.
It was just the same consistency as if we had made it the old way, but this way it saved me from boiling the water and adding the pasta and stirring it in. More importantly, it saved me from the pot, the strainer,
having to do extra dishes.
Even the extra spoon, right?
That's right.
So this is our newly redesigned pizza casserole, which is now a one pot. So in your large freezer bag, you're going to add 2 cups of ham that's been cubed, a 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese, 1 cup of mozzarella cheese that's shredded, some onion that's finely chopped, some chopped green pepper, tomato sauce, Italian seasoning, and a little tiny bit of red pepper flakes. We just really like those red pepper flakes, but you can omit them just like Christy said if you want to. Then we're gonna squish that all together to combine. We're gonna take out the excess air, seal it, and then in a medium-sized freezer bag, that's a quart-size freezer bag, we're gonna add 2 cups of a small pasta. We tend to use the small shells for this one, but any small pasta like a macaroni noodle would work. And we're gonna staple that to the large bag above the seal. And then on the day that you go to make this, you're just gonna dump that large bag into your slow cooker with 1 cup of water. Or you could have added the 1 cup of water right into your freezer bag if you prefer. It's just that then it takes up a little more space in your freezer, and this does tend to be a thick one because of the tomato sauce. So you're going to allow that to cook on your slow cooker, or you can do it in a stovetop pot. And then you're just gonna stir in those dry pasta noodles and let it all cook up together. Now, if you're doing this on a stovetop pot, then you can stir in the pasta noodles right as soon as it comes to boiling. If you're doing it in the slow cooker, you want to stir in that pasta about a half an hour before you're gonna serve it, and it just cooks up right in there, and then you've got this kid-friendly pizza casserole that is now a 1-pot meal.
That is just the best. You can't ever say that, okay, you can't say the freezer meals are boring. Yeah, maybe you could, but when you're passionate about it, your thing isn't boring. Stamp collecting, maybe a bit boring unless you're into stamp collecting. Freezer meals can be quite fascinating. I should put that on a t-shirt. You didn't expect that.
No, and you know, we're always like tweaking things and finding.
Always. Yeah. We're always changing things. We really are. And I mean, for us to have this recipe for over a decade and still be thinking, how could I change this to make this better? Yeah. There's always room for improvement, and we're always open to suggestions because there are ways to make it better.
Yes, so on any of our videos, feel free to give us suggestions in the comments. We read every single comment.
We really do.
We discuss the comments with each other.
We do.
And, you know, we're totally open to, we know we're not perfect. We know that we've got room for improvement as cooks and as humans. And so we're always open
a lot of room
to learning
sometimes.
new things.
This next recipe is a one-pot creamy sausage rigatoni.
Oh,
All of those
good.
things together just sound good on their own, and then to put it all together, it's amazing. It's amazing. So again, we have our freezer bag. We're going to add in our ground Italian sausage that's been browned. Now Charlotte's house likes things a little bit spicier than my house, so she uses a hot Italian sausage, and I tend to use a mild Italian sausage. Then we're going to add in a cup of chicken broth, and here's where it gets exciting. We're gonna add in a cup of whipping cream or heavy cream, which are kind of interchangeable. We're gonna add in garlic. Now we use minced garlic straight from the jar because honestly, when we are making 100+ recipes, we do not have time to stand there and squeeze the garlic press. So we buy it in the jar. We're gonna add in some Italian seasoning, some tomato sauce, or sometimes we use red sauce. We have a really great red sauce in the club. You should check it out. Or just whatever pasta sauce you like. Then we're gonna add salt and pepper, and you guessed it, some red pepper flakes. We are going to get that all into our bag and squeeze all that air out, seal it up, and freeze it. So on the day of cooking, you want to thaw it, get it on your stove, and just like everything else we've said here, we're going to bring it to a boil, and then we are going to add in our pasta. And now in this case, we are adding in 8 ounces of rigatoni, and it'll be on our label that you also want to have 5 ounces of fresh spinach, and you're going to put that in at the very end, and you're just going to allow it to wilt. So the pasta, you want to put it in once it's bubbling and boiling, and again, stir it for 10 or 15 minutes, maybe 17 minutes. You can want to do the taste test on your pasta. And so this is rigatoni, right? It's those big tubes. And make sure that that's nice and cooked through, and then we're going to wilt that spinach on top. And that is delicious. It is all the things.
It's so good.
It is so good. Do you know what? Anything that has ground sausage in it is delicious.
Yeah.
There isn't a single recipe that we have that has ground sausage in it that makes me go, eh.
That's true.
I love all of them.
Me too.
We should do a ground sausage video.
I think we have.
We probably have, but I'm ready for another one because now I'm excited about it.
I know, because we tried some new recipes in the mega session that we just finished. We tried some new sausage recipes, and we did an old standby, which is this sausage zucchini soup that's so good.
We hadn't had it in a while, and Charlotte posted it on the Freezer Meals page, the Freezer Meals 101 page. I don't know. We have a really great group. I don't know if you're in it, but you should be. But we also have a page on Facebook. And so she just is like popping recipes in there all the time. And I saw it go by, and I was just instantly hungry. And it's just comfort food. And it's been a while since we made it. So it was time to do it again.
Can we add it to the mega session list? Oh, yeah. It's probably my second favorite soup of all time.
That is saying something.
The butternut squash one is number one. I was having a discussion with one of my daughters the other day because we were talking about freezer meals and which ones she loved and stuff, and she was like, I really, really, really love that butternut squash. It's like a curried butternut squash soup, amazing flavors. But she was like, but now that I can't eat dairy, I'm really sad. And,
wait a minute.
Yes.
It's dairy free.
It's dairy free. And I was able to tell her, no. I know it tastes like it has cream in it, because it's that creamy and good, but there's not a drop of dairy in there.
Speaking of the mega session and the butternut squash soup, there is a pasta sauce.
Yes.
That has sausage and butternut squash soup in the pasta sauce, and I've not tried mine yet, but I'm very excited about it. You said we've done this one before, and I do not remember that at all. So I am excited about it. I haven't had mine yet. That's a weird thing to put together. But I trust you. I trust your mouth. It knows what's up.
She's come to trust me over the years when it comes to food. I mean, you can trust me for other things too.
Well, yeah. And but there's sometimes that I'm like, Charlotte, no, I don't know about that one. Sometimes I'm right, but sometimes, most of the time, she's right.
Yes.
I was visiting with Scott's auntie and uncle, and we were talking about well, do you try new recipes? When you try a new recipe, what are you about, half? Like you go on with half and half don't work. And I'm like, no, we do way better than half.
Oh yeah.
And I said, Charlotte has the palate of a chef, like a really great chef. She's one of those people. And I talk about this sometimes. And she said, oh, my brother-in-law was like that. And I used to be terrified to cook for him. One time they went home after we made supper and we ate and we went home and my sister phoned and she said, Jerry would like to know what brand of pepper you use.
Oh, that's a compliment.
That is a compliment.
Yeah.
And that is a very sensitive palate.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if Charlotte would ever ask me something like that. However, she might be somebody who could tell the difference between different brands of pepper. And I'm like, pepper's pepper. It's there or it's not. And yeah.
Oh, I always want to know. Like if we're at someone's house and they serve something and it's different or it's like, you know, or a recipe. I mean, I want to get that recipe or I want to know like, where did you buy this? And sometimes, you know, it's like, where did you get this? There was one time where it was olive oil and they're like, Italy.
Oh.
Okay, well, I'm not going there anytime soon, so I kind of can't do that. But
that's so funny. Yeah. Oh, so now if you want to freak somebody out, you phone them and say, what kind of pepper did you use in that? And she had an answer, and I'm like, holy man, mine would be like Costco or Bulk Barn, or it's probably like 6 years old. I don't know. That's fun. So the nice part is, because I cook so much of like your food,
yeah,
when I feed people, I know that it's going to taste good because you have a good palate. I trust her palate.
And there have been a few times, like I remember specifically about the African Thai stew. You were like, no.
There was a butternut chickpea
but it was good, right?
fajita.
Yeah.
I gave it to my sister-in-law. I didn't even eat
wasn't
it.
Good.
I just couldn't.
That was a new one for us too.
Yeah.
And we didn't like it either. So
see, I know.
We have had recipes that misfired.
Ham it up spaghetti. Can I just say that out loud?
It's gross.
I have one left, and I'm like...
Me too.
So I think here's what I'm going to do. Because it's so close to Tracy's special, and I've told you about Tracy's special. My good friend Tracy, we'd go to her house, and she'd make spaghetti. No, she would cook up some chicken breasts. She would cook up some chopped bacon, and she would add in like a couple of cans of cream of chicken soup and then add the cooked spaghetti to that. And then she would wilt the spinach on top. And she always liked it because if you had company come, it was an easy one to stretch. You just throw an extra chicken breast on, or you make extra pasta. And so it was an easy one to stretch. The flavor was good. I mean, it's just cream of chicken soup. You can't go wrong with that. It's going to taste good. And the ham it up spaghetti is actually pretty similar to that.
Yeah.
And so because it was, well, first of all, it's a pain in the butt to make.
Yes, it was.
You can go back and find, there's a mega session of us, and we just about peed our pants laughing. I don't know what the timestamp is on that sucker, but it's at the end we put it off all day.
And one of my sons actually grabbed an extra camera and started filming
us having a giggle fit.
Like, yeah.
We were spaghetti wranglers, I'm telling you, because it had a mind of its own. And there's breadcrumbs in it, and the whole idea of the ham in the spaghetti bothered me. But after we ate it, the flavor itself isn't awful. And I'm committed. I still have that one left.
Yeah.
I am gonna make it. I'm gonna add in an extra can of cream of chicken soup.
It's not gonna hurt it.
It won't hurt it, and then
it get worse.
It will remind me of Tracy's special,
right?
Which she never called it that. I named it that because we would go there, and that was what was for supper. So I just, there's ways to salvage it, but that one probably won't show up again.
We will never make that again, and you will never see it in the club or on our website. I
will salvage it because I value food, and I don't want to waste it. And we'll make it work.
I'm giving mine away. I'm giving mine away
to somebody you like or somebody you don't like. Somebody.
But I warned them. I've got a friend that's gonna pick it up, and but I warned her that we didn't like it, and I always do that. I would never give away something that is like.
And I don't really consider myself that picky of a person, but there's a few things.
You're texturally a little bit picky.
Yeah.
But I'm really picky, so I'm not judging. I'm not saying like, oh, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so
we still have another recipe.
We'll get to it. Kind of like gone off on a rabbit trail, but we do that sometimes, and you know, it is what it is. If you're here and you're watching us, yeah, sorry, not sorry. Thank you for watching.
You can fast forward until we start with the action again and the overhead.
Until you can see that there's a recipe. Okay, we did promise you that we're going to do this spinach artichoke one pot pasta. Mm-hmm. So we are going to make that now.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
So into your large freezer bag, you are going to put 1.5 cups of artichoke hearts that are drained and chopped. And for these, you're gonna want to blot them maybe with a paper towel just to get them sort of extra drained. You don't have to do that, but I just like to do that with my artichoke hearts. Then you're gonna put in some diced onion, salt, pepper. Now, this one, it's kind of funny, but red chili flakes again. Sorry, but we like them. You can omit those if you don't. And you're gonna add some minced garlic, because when we had that bruschetta with the spinach artichoke,
they just went together.
It just goes so really nicely. So we decided it belongs in here. Then you're gonna add in 2 cups of chicken broth, vegetable broth, or water. Now, we have made this one vegetarian today, but you can add chicken into this if you want to add some cooked chicken, either cubed or shredded. Then this is no longer a vegetarian meal, and it will work just the same. So you're going to squish that all around to combine it. You're going to get your air out. Of course, you're going to seal it. Then in a medium-sized freezer bag, you're going to add some mozzarella cheese that is shredded, and you're going to seal that bag, of course, and staple them together above the seal. On the day you're going to make this, you are going to thaw them, and then you're going to dump the contents of that large bag into your large pot or a huge, massive skillet on the stovetop, and you're going to stir in 2 cups of dry penne. You're going to cover and cook it for 15 to 20 minutes, stirring quite often because you don't want anything to stick to your pot. You're gonna keep it covered when you're not stirring, and when the pasta is cooked through, you're gonna stir in that cheese, and you're gonna stir in 2 cups of spinach. Now, if you want to, you can chop that spinach or you can put it in whole. It kind of depends on, again, texturally what you'd like. You're gonna allow that spinach to wilt and the cheese to melt and serve it.
What a nice variety here. For all being one pot meals, there's a lot of variety here. And this has been a lot of fun today.
Yes,
there was some good laughs. I did enjoy some, I hope you enjoyed a little bit of our lives because they're very weird. We have a weird life. We have a weird job and
we have a weird life.
I'm a bit weird. I'm good with that. I am pretty weird.
Definitely.
Embrace your weird. It's okay.
Christy can attest because, you know, if we didn't mention this, Christy is my neighbor 2 doors that way.
Yeah.
And we have been friends for over a decade. We've been making meals together for over 11 years. Mm-hmm. That makes it sound like we were friends for 1 year less, but I didn't mean that. We've been friends for as long as we've been cooking together.
For as long as we've been neighbors, really.
Yes. Yeah, we were pretty fast friends. Like, yeah, we met and we kind of knew we're gonna be friends.
Yeah, totally. And our kids are friends, and it's good.
Yeah, actually, as we were doing this, one of my daughters just picked up her daughter from school, and they just walked in the front door, so we took a little pause.
Your oldest daughter used to babysit my kids, and now my daughter babysits her grandbaby.
It's true.
It's so nice. Full circle.
Full circle.
That's awesome. Well, we're so glad you joined us today. Please tell us your favorite one-pot meal.
Yeah, we're always on the hunt for new recipes, but especially those one pot or the sheet pan, like anything that takes less dishes.
And I mean, seriously, when you're in college, you come up with some really interesting one pot meals, and that is how, like, craft dinner and mac and cheese. We're in Canada. Did I mention that? We call it craft dinner here, but it's the same thing. It's mac and cheese. And you chop up hot dogs, that's a one pot meal. I don't care who you are.
Not one that I would eat, but...
Me neither. I would eat the hot dogs, but I wouldn't eat the craft dinner. But It's a one-pot meal. And sometimes when you're broke, you
do what you have to do.
You do what you gotta do.
But I would never eat the hot dogs. So we're gonna put that video to our mega session right there. You should go and check that out. It's a long video, but so many different recipes and so many new things that we're trying, because freezer meals are decidedly not boring.
Very not boring. They are, in fact, quite exciting.
Thank you for joining us today.
Bye.
Happy cooking.